don't think I'm coming back this time. I think I'm actually just closing the book on this chapter permanently. Now, this video might be sad for some people, and it's a little bit sad for me, but honestly, no, not really, because here's the thing. I've been playing the Crusader the last week, and in my time in Diablo Immortal, I've played all the classes multiple times at this point. There were two classes in particular that I really did not enjoy playing. I would say that would have been the Barbarian the first time, the second time was way more fun, and the Crusader both times. I actually do not enjoy the Crusader, and I want to give you a few reasons why. The horse is extremely clunky to use. Conjuration of Light does not allow the Grim Crack Buckler, aka the coolest combination in the game, to work. In PvP, I definitely feel like they need a buff. Blizzard should give them love in PvP, absolutely. Managing the cooldown of Holy Banner, meaning making sure it's only up when you're using it during the boss, or making sure your other moves or your stacking moves like Spinning Shield, where it has multiple stacks, you have as many stacks as possible before you use it. That way you can get the ultimate burst. Like, having to do all this nuance is unenjoyable gameplay in my personal opinion. And last but not least, none of my Battle Pass cosmetics that I have purchased over my entire time in Diablo Immortal transfer to this class, so I look stupid with the only cosmetic I actually still have at this point is the one that I paid for with $100 to be able to use on multiple classes. So I don't really even have any of the cosmetics that I might like, as Crusader is, in my opinion, one of the coolest looking classes with cosmetics. You have the shield. I mean, look at some of these shields. Like, it is an absolutely good look by the Crusader that I have absolutely no access to. Not even the Portos. Some of the coolest Portos I can't even use. So while you actually have, in my personal opinion, maybe the best move in the entire game, it's not really fun to use. And to be honest, this just isn't my class. This isn't so much a video about me saying that the Crusader is absolutely garbage and how dare you play it or anything like that. It's not that type of video at all. This is more of like, I know what I like out of a class. Crusader is absolutely not it. If you enjoy the Crusader, absolutely. That's totally fine. I'm glad you do, but it's not for me. I've actually been enjoying more PvP lately. Like, I've been doing PvP up until this latest season where I swapped to Crusader, and now I find myself not doing PvP anymore. And when I was doing PvP, I realized that's the most I've interacted with the community, the most I've talked to people, the most fun I've had, getting into groups, fighting with people in the vaults, all of that. I really actually like the PvP, and there's another melee-based class that does the PvP way better. So it's time to swap again, but I don't think I'm coming back this time. I think I'm actually just closing the book on this chapter permanently. So I've explained my reasoning why exactly I'm not a big fan of the Crusader, but there is actually some classes I am a really big fan of. And this time when I class change like I always do, I want to stay a little bit longer this time. And I want to go and max out the Essence Mastery system for a class. Now, there are two classes in particular, actually three, that I'm really debating against, and they're all going to be strength, as I'm a Crusader and have recently acquired some very good strength set triple rows. So what I'm thinking is either Demon Hunter, Monk, or Barbarian. These are the other strength classes to go. However, I'm going to make a little bit of an argument here. Demon Hunter is the one I've played the least now out of all of these. So Demon Hunter would be the new argument for, like, let's go back and learn it. I don't really think there's too much more to do other than you get a good Vithus build, you build out the Vengeance. I kind of understand what it is. Monk is fun to play because they're kind of OP in PvP. You just run at people, you blow up them, you do tons of damage. It's been a little bit buffed recently, and I could see actually Monk being a lot of fun for that reason, okay, in PvP in particular, and I did mention I want to do some more PvP. However, here is the Barbarian, which I think is the one I'm going to go today, and that is because they actually buffed the build that I'm a big fan of. Has to do with the Essence Mastery system. You see, if you actually take a look at this, I've been working on this, I've been grinding out a bunch of these essences, etc., as I've been playing. However, if we go back to the Barbarian, my favorite build out of the whole Barbarian was the very quick kind of storm farming type of build with the sprint and the firestorm combo, and that has been buffed significantly. It comes with this legendary item right here. You do a Trail of Flames, dealing damage, but it gets upgraded by 30%. This is one of the better variants that you can get out of the buffs that will happen from the Essence Mastery. It's 30% per level, which is ridiculous. If you actually look at the other helmets for this piece, here it is. Sprint also leaves a tornado, meaning just sprinting will actually proc Firestorm just by itself. You can see it is 30% as well. So that is the full combination. Both pieces are 30%. But what's crazy is if you look, Whirlwind occasionally throws out tornadoes that deal damage. The other Whirlwind build that throws out these tornadoes for the Firestorm also has the 30% increased damage. And before even going into what they did with the Essence Mastery system with the Berserkers, it's already interesting enough for me to want to play it. But then they buffed the Wrath of the Berserker cooldown, which is insane. That's exactly what you want to see, as the critical hit chance increasing, then having the cooldown reduction is absolutely insane. So I'm about to absolutely pop off because I have skill cooldown reduction on both of these pieces with movement speed. This is a 2-piece gray set, which increases your continual damage, and then it's going to have the 30% damage from the Barbarian. So all of that basically to say, I think the plan here is to go Barbarian, right? I think the plan is to go Barbarian. And I honestly just really enjoyed the Barbarian. Like, I actually had fun playing the Barbarian the second time, and I didn't think I would. So that's one time I played the Barbarian, I didn't like it. One time I did, and now they've buffed it. And so let's go ahead and break that tie by swapping back to the Barbarian today. And of course, we got to make sure before we swap that we are equipping pieces of gear. Actually, we don't have to do this because the whole point was we are all the same strength intelligence. Normally, you got to make sure you're not wearing any warband pieces, but we're just going to do it anyway. And here we go, back to the Barbarian for the third time, which is going to make the Barbarian my most changed to class other than the Necromancer. The Barbarian is now my second most played character. And it's going to feel fantastic right out of the gate because we already have basically all of the essences and everything. We got the reserve gear. It's going to be great. So we're going to see some Barbarian gameplay going into the future. The very first thing I would expect is to see an updated guide on the new Sprint Whirlwind build if I can get all of my pieces on for it. Also, I just duplicated this ring since I have a triple row ring. What I did was when I transferred, I made sure it was on, so I made the reserve piece of it, and now I have skill cooldown reduced by 4%, damage done to players increased by 1.5% on both of these rings, and I literally just gained like 100 combat rating doing absolutely nothing. That's a tip we've covered in another video. I'll probably make a short out of to inform people about. I love you all. Let me know what you want to see for the Barbarian. We're going to play the Barbarian a little bit longer. I think this is probably going to be the first class we fully max out the Mastery Essence. I'm not really in the mood to change anytime soon. I do want to wait all the way till Hell 8 until we probably change back to the Necromancer at this point. We're going to farm, max out the Essence, try out the new Firestorm build because 30% damage increase on both of the ones that make that Firestorm build so good is massive for one of my favorite builds in the game. Love you all. Consider liking and subscribing if you would like to. It helps me out a lot. I'll see you on the next Diablo Immortal video.